We give you the rank of entertaining, but we do not give you the rank of peak. What? That's outrageous. My characters can one-shot Superman and even Goku and even God. Our fight scenes is so peak because we are peak. Boy, bigger, stronger, and far more respectable characters than you have tried and failed to challenge the symbol of superheroes, the symbol of real peak. Your entire roster can't even handle the human Z fighters, yet you want to try and come at the king. Do yourself and everybody a favor. Take a seat. I'm Terminally Online, and fuck it, this shit is getting seriously out of hand. If you've been on YouTube, X, or whatever, you've been probably seeing crap like Thragg versus Superman, or Thragg versus anybody who's strong, and the assumption is Thragg is gonna win. Tell me you guys don't know anything about Superman without telling me you don't know who Superman is or what he's capable of. I swear, all because this dude does a cool looking punch that shook shit outside and pulled in a vortex, or because he apparently took a punch from Mark?
Give a fuck, Keisha?
I mean, guys, firstly, why are we now acting like Mark hasn't been getting dog walked by every motherfucker with super strength besides the Immortal, who, by the way, in Season 1, almost pieced out Omni-Man? And people are going to bitch about Dragon Ball's power scaling. Mark should be changing his name to Victim with the way this guy has been on Fraud Watch. Dude supposedly is going to be doing something to Thragg in this moment, yet, guys, let's be very real here. He beat Conquest by plot, and he should have died a long time ago. And very soon from now, because judging by what is where they are in the story and what people have been talking about online, he's about to become Anissa's personal jazz dispenser. Yeah, I said jazz, not that word, because, you know, YouTube is YouTube. She's about to booty warrior this guy, and we're not going to pretend that this guy is something special. Next, yay, a hard punch with some oomph.
Oh, wow, I've never seen that before.
Bitch, please. Dragon Ball characters and Bleach characters were doing that shit back in 2008 and can do far more than that. Remember, just because something looks cool doesn't mean you can't have to ignore all the rationalization about it or the context. As cool as it is, it's a punch that just shook things outside. Bleach and Dragon Ball characters were making the moon and environments distant memories or glass floors, and you want to equate? Get that shit out of here. Thragg's most famous feat is destroying a planet. With help. And that planet was on death's door.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out!
Whoa, 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 everybody put down the pitchforks. My bad. He didn't destroy Planet Voltron. I was wrong. Like, even during the recording, I was like saying to myself, hold on, this doesn't sound right. Then I asked myself, should I go back to the comics to double check? Am I willing to go back to a franchise that I think is just edgy? What if Superman was evil and had a bitch boy son who was an emotional mess and could only win a fight due to plot or somebody else helping him to get the win, even though he has the genetic potential to be superior? Am I willing to go back to that just to see if I'm right or if I'm wrong? Then I remembered, I don't have to. The series is already caught up to that point, so I can just watch that.
One eternity later.
Okay, so I watched it and I double checked on the comic. Thank you, high seas of the internet. And yeah, he didn't. It was Stad, and no longer evil Superman and bitch boy Superboy. Cool. Turns out Thragg's biggest feat is him killing Battle Beast after days of non-stop fighting. It's not all that impressive when you remember that neither of them are planet busters, and that, yeah, they can just do a shit ton of damage to a planet but not really destroy it unless they have a lot of help. And no, they're not planet busters. Neither are. They can do a lot of damage to a planet if they tried really hard and had a lot of help. But once again, none of them are planet busters, and that puts them behind the human Z fighters. Hell, that puts them behind King Vegeta back in his day. This kind of just puts Thragg around Demon King Piccolo's era. So, let's suck it. Yes, they have been upscaling him, clearly. Probably gonna upscale him to the point where he can destroy a healthy planet solo by ramming into it like a battering ram, but once again, that's cute. Congratulations, you've beaten the cast of Naruto and some of the big three. Lord knows he's not getting past Luffy with the power of Looney Tunes. But the Fade Carrier is not touching early Dragon Ball Z characters, let alone Superman. Remember, they were moving beyond sight, and Roshi, who they all surpassed a long time ago, was turning things like the moon into memories. Roshi. Demon King Piccolo was making Roshi sweat and rethink retirement. Demon King Piccolo was making a game out of nuking cities, and Thragg's most famous thing is doing a super cool punch that created a gust of wind. Oh, that's adorable. Yujiro Hanma's in the chat going big deal. Even if we're gonna be rolling with King Vegeta destroying a planet being filler, remember, the power does track when you think about it. Goku at the beginning of Z was still considered low class to these people, and he was beyond Moon Boom Boom. What do you think that implies about the average Saiyan? Never mind Grade 8, which is just a multiplier. Wiping out the Viltrumites isn't all that much of a stretch for them when you factor in Frieza's army were above Nappa and Raditz, who were abusing planets. Hell, Nappa got reprimanded on using his power because he might destroy the Dragon Balls by accident when he turned an entire city into a glass floor. Not so much for the so-called incredible Viltrumites when you think about it. Now, after the title, you're probably confused as to why I'm going with Dragon Ball characters instead of Superman. Well, it's because of something very simple. I'm trying to hammer on a point. The point being that Viltrumites are nothing against the human Z fighters back in Dragon Ball Z. And Superman is way beyond Super Goku and Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, and probably even Beerus. Goku and Vegeta and Beerus made the universe have a heart attack just with them punching each other. And Soup still dog walks them. Superman has dealt with Mongol, the Main Man, Hercules, Wonder Woman, Zod, Doomsday, Brainiac, and Darkseid, even Dr. Manhattan, and he's been a problem for all of them. Moved planets like he's moving blocks around in Minecraft, tanked supernovas, took over for Atlas for a while, and held up way more than just the planet Earth. And this is my personal favorite, helped hold up Infinity. It's nowhere near close. DC has patted the hell out of Superman, and he's not even really all that killable when you think about it. Darkseid's Omega Beams is basically the heat vision equivalent of Hakai, and Superman just tanked that. Yeah, he did die, but he came back like the Messiah and took on the Spectre. The literal embodiment of God's wrath, mind you. Not in the same issue, but you get the idea. The one above all God is the one that is the God of DC. And you want to tell me that Thragg is going to be doing something to him after he...
Spoiler alert!
He later on will die because he couldn't take being on the one thing that makes Superman big pimpin'. Get the fuck out of here.
Recognize game? Your granddaddy recognized game.
Game, recognized game, and you looking kinda unfamiliar right now.
Then I started seeing people downplay the gods of DC and beings in the DC universe because they didn't just erase Super Batman. But, guys, this is getting old. The gods of DC are split between two different groups, the old gods and the new gods. The old gods are the Greek gods, the Norse gods, and beings that can basically make the entire universe quake from the sheer power that they have, and you want to call them weak. Yes, the comics have allowed Batman and Superman to get away with a lot of batshit feats, but hey, that's just comics for you. That doesn't take away from the insane amount of power that the old gods and the new gods have. Mind you, Darkseid is incredibly powerful, and he only just overtook the old gods. And you want to start claiming bullshit like Invincible can take him. Guys, Invincible is just like Superman in terms of the comics. They have bullshit insanity, but the only difference is Superman took very much advantage of that, as did the rest of DC. Mark and the rest of Invincible, not that much. Mark has his fair share of bullshit moments, don't get me wrong, but ain't nobody want to talk about that right now. All I say to the Invincible fans, guys, you're like the JJK fans. Take the L. They are not all that when you think about all of the other universes in comparison. Hell, they're not even the most bullshit thing in their own franchise. In the fucking Invincible franchise, there are beings that can kill most of the Viltrumites very easily. It's not that impressive when you think about it. Just take the L and stop being so annoying that a lot of us are missing the Goku tards of old. You're just as annoying, and it's getting ridiculous now. Like and all that other good shit, and I'm out this hoe. Not gonna do more than I have to when Invincible fans don't want to even do the bare minimum of context. Later, taters.